All right, guys, this is Dope as Jay providing you guys with another video. In this one, we're going to be talking about the DRAM situation, how this is going to impact the market moving forward. If you guys haven't heard, Micron, which has their business called Crucial, which sells a lot of RAM and other products like SSDs and stuff like that to consumers, they are completely exiting the consumer business of selling products, and they're shifting their entire supply of making memory, making DRAM and NAND products towards enterprise and AI. I talked about this in a recent live stream. I talked about the implications of this for the future of not only the consumer market, but the enterprise market as well. So we're entering a situation right now where there is a huge RAM shortage and there's a lot of demand, not only from the consumer side, but also from the enterprise side, because there's a lot of AI data center build out. There's a lot of AI CapEx spending that's being put into that as well. So there's a huge opportunities from these memory manufacturers like Samsung, Micron, SK Hynix, and many others to manufacture a lot of RAM, shift their supply towards enterprise, and make a killing in regards to profits from that as well. Because if you guys haven't been paying attention, DRAM prices and NAND prices have been doubling month to month to month. The prices have skyrocketed so much so that certain products you've seen are over 180% price increase versus where it was, years ago, even months ago. So demand is high, inventory is low, and prices are high as a result. So it's simple supply and demand dynamics right there as well. But we're starting to see other companies follow suit as well. Dell, IBM, and a couple of other companies are raising the price of their computing products by 10 to 15% pretty soon. So they're baking in the price of the increased cost of supplying themselves with DRAM for their products and passing off the cost to consumers, because everybody knows that right now, not only from a consumer standpoint, but also OEMs, pre-built PC manufacturers, they're seeing the pain of that as well. So prices of a lot of computing products are going to go up because SSD prices are going to rise. DRAM prices have already risen. And a lot of other products that are being made using flash memory is going to increase as well because of this demand. So like they said, according to this report, the company is reallocating its output and investments in enterprise-grade DRAM and SSD products amid growing demand for the AI sector. So Micron has completely abandoned the consumer sector. They're closing their Crucial brand the beginning of next year. So January is going to be the end. Anything that you need to get from Crucial right now, get it, because it's pretty much over with. And then according to this other report from the Chinese memory giant Team Group, DRAM and NAND prices have almost doubled recently. And they're talking about how in some categories of DRAM and 3D NAND has increased 80 to 100% month over month. And there's a lot of charts and data to support this as well. You guys have seen it. DRAM prices are ridiculous, and this is going to hit SSDs as well. Like I said earlier, you're seeing some OEMs like Dell increase the cost of their products by 10 to 15%. Other people are going to follow this as well. This is going to impact a lot of areas. And a lot of people in the community are talking about this strictly from a PC gaming standpoint, but this goes far beyond PC gaming. This is with everything: smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, anything that needs RAM, anything that needs solid state storage, and a lot of other components are going to feel the pain. You're either going to see a shortage of those products being supplied, inventory products of those products being lowered, prices being jacked up. There's also another report that Samsung has denied their mobile division a certain amount of LPDDR5 RAM that they need for their smartphones. If you guys don't know, a lot of Android phones, Apple phones, they all use LPDDR5 and LPDDR5X. And right now, the cost of LPDDR5X has climbed significantly. And their smartphone division had put in the request to get some more DRAM, and they essentially declined it. So it's kind of ironic because you have the new Samsung phones coming out the beginning of next year as well. So I'm thinking that that's going to be a paper launch, and those phones are going to be on back order for a while. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. But a lot of tech giants right now they're just scrambling to get as much memory supply as possible. And like I said, this is going to impact all areas of technology, not just the PC gaming space. Console prices as well. Console prices are going to rise This isn't just going to impact DRAM, but it's also going to impact VRAM, because these DRAM manufacturers also manufacture video memory that you see inside these graphics cards, for you to be able to game effectively, to have not only just the capacity of VRAM needed to run these games on modern settings, but also the speeds needed to run as well. And if you guys know anything about, the components that are needed to run your games, video memory is a very, very important part of that as well. So this is going to impact GPU prices as well, and it's going to impact all sectors of not only just gaming, but the broader tech industry as well. So this is going to be an interesting thing to follow as we move forward. And I talked about this during my live stream as well, that from a business perspective, because there's so much demand for these products such as GPUs and such as memory, if you guys don't know, these large language models that are used to develop these AI solutions need a lot of memory and a lot of GPU computing power, right? So these manufacturers like nvidia, AMD, Samsung, SK Hynix, and these other Micron, these other manufacturers who are, they're experts in building graphics cards and memory needed to train these language models. There's a high demand for that, right? And there's a lot of AI CapEx spending ranging in the hundreds of billions this year. And there's trillions of dollars in spending commitments to build these data centers that need these hardware, right? So from a business perspective, if you're looking at it from NVIDIA's perspective, Samsung, Micron, and all these other manufacturers, it makes perfect sense for you to shift your supply to meet the demand of these big players who are developing and building these AI data centers, right? The issue is, when you have a shortage like this, a lot of these projects are going to be put on pause because they simply don't have the supply and inventory to build out the data centers. And that's just going to put a pause on everything. So, like I said, this is going to be very, very interesting to watch. They're saying that this is going to last well into 2027 and 2028. My suggestion is anything that you might need right now from a graphics card perspective, from an SSD perspective, buy it now, because prices are going to skyrocket next year. I mean, this year alone, we've already seen it with DDR4 and DDR5 RAM. I looked at the price of my existing DDR4 RAM kit that's in my PC. I have 32 gigabytes of DDR4 in my PC. And man, did that price get jacked up insanely. So get what you need now. It's still the holiday season, so you can get a lot of deals, but especially from an SSD perspective, get your storage now. Get your storage, get your graphics cards, whatever you need to do in regards to upgrading around the margins. Maybe you're building a brand new PC, get it now. Even so much to the point where I would say buy a pre-built PC right now instead of building your own PC, because it's much more cost efficient right now for you to buy a pre-built versus you building your own PC because of RAM prices. But you're also going to see the prices of pre-built PCs, OEM PCs, laptops, smartphones, a lot of other technology products that are being sold increase as well because of this memory shortage, and then eventually it's going to hit storage as well. So this, like I said, this is going to be very, very fascinating to watch. This is also going to impact consoles as well. These console fanboys are acting like this isn't going to impact them and they're making fun of the PC market. You have to understand that, a lot of the same components that are being used to build PCs is being used in consoles as well. So like I said, video memory is going to be impacted by this as well. And there's going to be a shortage of video memory being supplied. And consoles can either see another price hike, or you're just going to see inventory levels flatline altogether. So there's a balancing act that Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo has to do in regards to navigating this situation entering next year in 2027. What are they going to do? Are they going to increase prices as inventory levels shrink? Or are they just going to say, hey, we don't have the memory needed to manufacture consoles at the volume needed to supply the demand? So, like I said, this is going to be very, very fascinating to watch. If you already have a good PC, stick with what you have. Hold on to your hardware. Do not sell. This is a point in time where you have to hold, buy what you need, and that's about it. Like I said, my plan was to wait for Zen 6. My plan was to wait for the RTX 6000 series. But because of what's happening with DRAM prices right now, I don't know what's going to happen with those plans in regards to, people who are on AM4 wanting to switch to AM5 because RAM prices are high. Or even if NVIDIA wants to make their next generation of GeForce graphics cards and AMD as well for RDNA 5, how much supply of those graphics cards are they going to be able to put in the market because of these shortages? So this is pretty much it for the video. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. All the links to the sources are in the description, and I'm out. Peace.